Here they go with a stern warning. Coming this summer, gas stations running out of gas. Now, this is CNN, but you can bet that this is a warning. Millions of people stuck at home for more than a year are expected to hit the road for a much needed post pandemic vacations this summer. Good luck finding gas. Not that there's a looming shortage of crude oil or gasoline, rather, it's the tanker truck drivers needed to deliver the gas to stations who are in short supply. Apparently, even before this thing hit, the truckers were in short supply. As this type of thing happens, our infrastructure, our delivery system, our logistical systems of our supply chain, and uh, it gets when it gets broken down like this, we see shortages. So be ready for that. Be ready for gas prices to skyrocket again. According to the National Tank Truck Carriers, the industry's trade group, somewhere between 20 and 25% of tank trucks in the fleet are parked headed into the summer due to a paucity of qualified drivers. At this point, in 2019, only 10% of trucks were sitting in idle for this reason. We've been dealing with a driver shortage for a while, but the pandemic took that issue and metastasized it, said Ryan Streblow, the executive vice president of the NTTC. It certainly has grown exponentially. Indeed, drivers left the business a year ago when gasoline demand ground near to a halt during the early pandemic related shutdowns. Does anybody remember the streets being just completely cleared out, even during 5 o'clock traffic? Like it was always like Sunday. Every day was like a Sunday. It was crazy. Here's a quote from the vice president in charge of driver recruitment and retention at Grondike Transport in Oklahoma. It says, "We were even hauling boxes for Amazon just to keep our drivers busy." That's crazy. A lot of drivers didn't want to do the safety protocols. We're also working with an aging workforce. Many said, I might as well take it as a cue to retire. So the safety protocols coming up, a lot of these older truckers said, nah, to hell with this, I'm just going to go ahead and retire instead of going through that again. Not just any truck driver is allowed to drive a tanker truck. It requires special certification, including a commercial driver's license and weeks of training after being hired. And while jobs are more attractive than some long while the jobs are more attractive than some of the long haul trucking jobs that keeps drivers away from home for days or weeks at a time, it is strenuous, difficult work. McCormick, who runs the workforce committee for the NTTC, said another problem was the shutdown of many driver schools early in the pandemic. The pipeline of new drivers those schools would have produced is yet to be filled, she said. And then there's the new federal clearinghouse that went online January 2020 to identify truck drivers with prior drug or alcohol violations or failed drug tests, which knocked about 40 to 60,000 total drivers out of the national employment pool. Jeez, man. Yeah, I wonder how the legalization of marijuana is affecting the work industry. It's legal in your state, it's legal in your county or wherever it is, and then you got to take a drug test for your job, and they say, no, you have pot in your system, and you're like, okay, but it's legal. And they're like, we don't care, it's not, this is our company policy. I wonder when that's going to stop, because it's got to stop in some of these states, right? I mean, look at this, 40 to 60,000 total drivers. How much did they say? We've been dealing with a driver shortage for a while now. 20 to 25% tank trucks are sitting idle. In normal times, turnover can run around 50% on an annual basis, but that spiked at roughly 70% national rate. That's just crazy. Anyways, we're short on truck drivers, and it's going to make getting gas to the gas stations a hell of a problem coming up this summer. And so gas prices will probably spike.